I was asked by Positive Lives, the Terence Higgins Fund. They were also they wanted to create an exhibition. They always deal with HIV/AIDS, and they wanted to have an exhibition at the main museum in Valencia, a beautiful museum. And they wanted me to look at drugs and HIV/AIDS, the combination of it. And they said you can go to a shelter in Barcelona. All they had heard of this rubbish dump where the drug world is, and like it's like Mad Max, like it's something you'll never know. And I thought, not taking the option of Barcelona, let me come to Las Canas. Las Canas is the reeds. So there's reeds all, and it's a huge rubbish dump on the outskirts. And about 1,000 people go there every day for their drugs. And 100 people live there. And what I did was, there's a caravan that goes, it's an NGO, and they go into this rubbish dump every day. They don't leave the caravan. They give people clean needles. They give them clean tin foil. They give them a café con leche, coffee, and they give the woman like sanitary pads and that, because they believe that people who are doing drugs must do it clean. But they don't leave, because this is the Wild West of drugs. So they stay in the caravan. So we knew we couldn't bring, I don't speak Spanish, we knew we couldn't bring a translator from outside. Because if you're not used to this kind of environment, you're not going to survive it. So we got different drug users to work with me. I mean, they weren't always 100% reliable, because when you're taking drugs to this extreme, you can be arrested, or you sleep late, or whatever. But working there was like being in a big brother house, but on drugs. Because the manipulation that goes on in a place like this, and I decided I'm going to photograph the people that are actually living in the rubbish dump. Not the people that come and just buy the drugs and then, hang out and leave. Now, €5 was everything. €5 could buy you sex. €5 could buy you, not crack, you could buy heroin, and you could buy like cocaine, but very cheap stuff. And I thought I would just be able to take a 35mm camera and like sort of follow one person or whatever. But that also turned out it's not going to happen. You can't rely on anyone in this place. So the NGO also said that the time that I'm taking to take a photograph, I should also give something back, which is €5. So I kept a notebook, because this in journalism, I suppose, is a no-no. You don't do something like that, even though this project was for a museum. So that's how we kept it, that I would take a photograph and I'd write mummy and I'd say €5. And the next time she came to me and said I didn't pay her, I could say, yes, I have. And it sounds weird, but it's an underground world, this. And every photo that I took was with the permission of the person that I photographed. There were no stolen pictures. The one day there must have been 20 people falling to the ground from a drug overdose. And I said to myself, Jodi, put your camera down. Because if I had taken that picture, I would have been kicked out of the area. And I thought the way I did it was a more interesting way. In Valencia, I did extensive interviews with each person I photographed, and that ran with the work. And people from Valencia didn't even believe that this was from Valencia. And this, I can give, Mummy used to make her €5 to buy her drugs by looking after the drug dealers, by washing their clothes. She was also a ballerina. She's from Angola. She was adopted by a Portuguese family. And then when she was much older, she turned to drugs, and that's how she landed up there. And the drug dealers were from Ghana, and they were from Liberia. The Ghanans just wanted to go through Spain because it was easy to get in, to to go live in London or England. And the Liberians were more crazy. They took the drugs, you know, they used to have sex with the drug users, so they were more mad. Not Miguel, I've suddenly forgotten his name. He won like 130,000 euros in the lotto, and then he lost his family, his everything. And the police were there every single day. And it was the weirdest thing. There were these storm drains. So when the police came, the drug dealers used to just go to the entrance in the storm drain, and the police didn't go in. Completely different to what would be in South Africa. And they couldn't believe that I was still there, that I wasn't kicked out. I was threatened with scissors by one of the drug users, and my light meter was thrown in the water because they thought it was a camera. So there were these incidents, but yeah, it was incredible. The people were absolutely amazing. And then the color pictures of while I was in the rubbish dump, you found like shoes and all these different objects. So I thought it would be interesting to photograph them in color. Yes. That's the one.
I was wondering what the significance was.
It was what I found in the rubbish dump. And also I sort of feel like if you look at the woman there and you look at this, it sort of tells you kind of a story, you know. And here it was also incredible for me. Imagine, did we ever think in Spain that this would be what you saw? And this guy, he's got HIV/AIDS, and he had ARVs. At this time in South Africa, there were no ARVs at all. And he just didn't want to take them. He said it made him tired. Yeah. And parents used to come and put posters up because their child's missing. But someone said to me, I was very naive, this is so Goya. And at that time, I didn't know, who's Goya? And then I saw what a compliment that was. Any questions?
Can you tell us about her?
Irachi. Irachi is Spanish, and she lives in the rubbish dump.
So she carries her luggage everywhere she goes.
Yeah.
They showed us.
Well, Carlos said he was South African, but I didn't believe that he was because he didn't seem it. And yeah, this is a photograph of two of the drug users, Carlos, and I can't even remember who the second person from South Africa, and they said this is like Alcatraz here. It's like a prison. It was a crazy, crazy place.
In your search, between darkness and light, it seems like you always look for the bright side. You know, people we might immediately judge. Don't you get attached to these people, and to what extent do you sympathize or don't you sympathize? How do you keep that boundary? Because I think it's very difficult.
QT, who from one of the young gangsters, said I'm the Lone Ranger. So I always tell people that basically I'm here and this is what I want to do. But even with my own friends, I don't have like connection every day. Like even my friends that I made overseas, if I go to Paris, I see them, I love them, and then I'm somewhere else. So it is that. The one thing that's very important to me with people is that I say to them what I'm going to do, where it's going to go. So I said, you see that museum across there? And they sent someone from there to go see the show. And they gave me the thumbs up. So for me, it's important what I say, I do, and I don't go against that. And of course, I'm on the side of the people. And yes, it is true. It's through life circumstances that people find themselves. And for them, what was important was that in the museum, they also showed we put the text to tell about their life story, etc. And they say that when they're walking in Valencia, you know, they're parking cars to get money or whatever. People walk away like this. You know, they don't want to be near them because they're dirty. They look dirty. So I was putting a human side to who they are.
But you're not, you don't,
WhatsApp them.
no. I mean, like, you don't pity them. I mean, it's not like...
No, you don't go...
pity,
No.
You're not showing these images to, oh, shame, poor guys.
Definitely
It's
not.
You know,
It's not my...
that type of story.
No.
to tell.
It's my worst when I see people like
Yeah.
No,
because
no.
I feel that's not what you're...
no, for me it's like I'm going in here, I'm sort of telling, like, well, not only telling, I think I'm like finding my way of expressing the place, so creating the mood through how I'm seeing it. But it's definitely about, I'm on the side of who I'm photographing. I'm not that carte blanche where I'm undercover doing something else. Because these are real people. So, and I think that it becomes more important with young people that, you know, with the internet. Before the internet, people never used to see the work that was going out there. And now with Instagram and internet and everything, people that you photograph are not only better wiser because they're also taking photographs, but they're aware what you are doing if it gets onto the, you know, internet, which most likely it does. And this was also a different period of time. Would I go back here? I'd probably do it in a completely different way because I'm different. And the Terence Higgins Fund were very nervous because with some of the other projects they had taken on, you know, like you can color code an issue. So you can have a situation where the nurse is loving the patient and they said, but this is so hard. And I said, but that's what it is. There's nothing candy-coated about this environment.
Can I ask a question? It's quite interesting when you said that if you went back here now, you would shoot it in a completely different way. Do you want to say something more about that?
Well, I don't know how I would do it, but it would just be, I don't know, it would just be different.
Would you shoot it in colour? Would you shoot
Probably
it
in
digitals?
colour. This was all, you know, the old-fashioned cameras where you look down. It was a Yashica mat.
Cool.
And so it was, and I used one roll per person because you only have 12 frames. And yeah, that's how it works. So I don't know. I'd have to go back and see how I would do it. I'd probably be too scared. What you learn, it makes you a little bit more darkened.